Hey there, welcome to or back to my channel. I'm super excited to give an update on my island. It's been a while since I've done one of these style of videos. The entrance hasn't really seen many changes, of course other than like Whitney's yard down here. You can check out my last video for a speed build for that. Otherwise, the only little differences done to this front area is like some of the festival items and adjusting some trees. These festival pieces, especially the garland, were one of the best additions to the game recently in my opinion. Over here by Nooks, I shut off the crafting area in my last island tour video, but just recently I added this little tree farm next to it. Ignore the lack of trees, there's normally some cedar trees growing here, but having it right here, not only next to Nooks but by the crafting area, has saved me a lot of time. I can just go buy the saplings and then grow the trees and then have readily available wood for crafting projects. Back to the left is my most recent and largest project I've started. But first, I want to walk around through my town square to show you one more thing that's actually finished. Side note while passing through, if you visit my dream address, you can get a sneak peek of how my library is going so far. But here's what I wanted to show you. I finally finished my marketplace, and I ended up making it all fruit. If you remember in I think my museum video, I had showed off this little market and I had this right stall as like a seasonal thing. I liked the idea of it, but with how much I time travel, and it just wasn't pleasing to me, I just ended up making it all fruit, and I'm really happy with how it came out. Alright, the next thing I have to show is an area I've been putting off for the longest time, but if you look in the left hand corner of my map, I've started working on my neighborhood finally. Now I really only have like 5 out of 10 of the villagers I actually want to put in this neighborhood, but I figured getting things laid out and planned out would save me a lot of time in the future. The way there is over here by my museum. You can also get there by the crafting area that I was showing earlier. I've already placed down a few of the villager homes that are staying, but the rest are just marked down with paths. I highly recommend this method, especially if you're going for like a tiered look or even a more natural tiered look like I am. It saves so much bells doing it this way, especially if your house is like 1 or 2 off, you know what I mean? When putting it all together, of course, after clearing everything in every house out from this corner, I put down my first 4 house markers, and then closely behind that I put down the first cliff. I tried to keep it natural up front, and then I just filled it in all the way to the back of my island. After that was all filled, I did the same thing with the second level and placed down a few house markers where I thought they would fit nicely, and then I just did the same exact thing with the next level, filling up a cliff slightly behind it and adding the stairs, and then just filling that in as much to the back as I could with as much room as possible. Up next was this little 4th level spot. If you somehow haven't seen the trick to getting up on the 4th level to add things to it, this is a quick rundown of how I did it. You just make a small little 2x2 inlet into here and round out the corner in it. And then you place a small object at the base of it. This may take a few tries, but basically once the object is placed, you just quickly turn around and press the button to build, and eventually your character will just lag up onto that 4th level. Unfortunately, you can't put any like weeds or path signs down, which I learned the hard way. I put a weed and it disappeared the next day, but I think it's pretty useful for at least getting like trees in the background of some areas, or at least just adding a little bit to certain things. Then I went ahead and placed some trees, terraformed some waterfalls to give us some natural accents to suit the rest of the island, and then I pretty much called it. I was gonna place down some pathing and get that started, but I think I'm gonna do a speed build for each of the villagers' yards once I get them all, so I'll just wait till then. Also, a little oopsie on my end with this design. When I went to place some of the houses, I realized that I had set the markers for like your house size, which is 5x4, and not the villager homes, which are 4x3. But don't worry, I was able to make the necessary adjustments and move around some of the trees and such as needed. Just wanted to point that out, so if you're using this method, you know, hey, it's 4x3. The last thing I did for this area was just extend this waterway a little bit. I started it over by my market when I finished that, and I think I'm going to extend it all the way over behind my crafting area over here, but I think this is a good stopping point for now. Well, that is about it for my island update. If you're looking for any of my design codes or dream address, that'll all be down in the description. If you have any questions or feedback, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Thank you so much for watching and your time, and I'll see you in the next one.